Hi, my name is Kiari Davis, and I'm the creator of the show called Wired, and I'm here to explain to the class what my show is all about. The show follows a man named Rick Stone, and in his early life, he was a serial killer. The only killings that he would take part in was killing evil, vile men that would wreak havoc on the streets of Harlem, New York. Years later, Rick does give up that lifestyle and decides to settle down and have a family. So what happens when his past choices come to life and starts affecting him and his family and the life that he has built for them? The key demographics that I would like to reach would be teens, young adults, and adults as well. I would rate this show as a TV 14 just because of language, substance abuse, and violence as well. The drama, and the more you watch, the more you can't get enough. Wired is a show that explains that all bad guys are not bad guys, and people just have a natural calling to protect their city in order to make it a better place. You can't help to think that some people are just wired a certain way to get the job done. So for my casting here, I have Idris Elba, or you can't really see, but Idris Elba, and then also Sterling K. Brown. So Rick Stone as the main character, he will be 35 to 40, and from the height of 5'11" and 6 feet, and he will be African American. The characteristics that I have had or that I have developed for Rick Stone would be built, muscular, emotionally serious, and anxious, just because since he was a serial killer, I just having that thought in the back of the head that he might get caught one day, so that definitely that anxious and always like looking over your shoulder for something. And so the reason why we're going to focus right here on Sterling K. Brown, he is from the show called This Is Us, and I love that show. I definitely loved his acting, from going from like smiling one scene and then just full on tear jerking the next. And so I definitely think his acting range is what's necessary and what's needed for the character Rick Stone, because he does go through a lot of trials and tribulations throughout the show Wired. So I think that Sterling K. Brown would be a really good candidate for Rick Stone. Another one is Idris Elba. Idris Elba has been in the acting game for a while, so I have seen a lot of his movies and TV shows, and I believe that he's like a really serious guy, and I really think that he can bring that type of seriousness out of the character of Rick Stone. So I think that would be a really good way to portray Rick Stone as well. Next, I have Genevieve Stone. So Genevieve Stone, she is the wife of Rick Stone. And so here I have Tika Sumpter, and I have Aja Naomi King. And so she's going to be in her late 30s. Height will be 5'6" to 5'8", and also African American as well. And so I'll just move over here. And so Tika Sumpter, I've seen her in Medea, Nobody's Fool, with her co-star Tiffany Haddish, and then also in a most recent development of Mixed-ish. It's a new show that's on ABC, and so she plays the mother in that show, and definitely that motherly role that she has in Mixed-ish, I definitely wanted her to play Genevieve Stone, just because I am familiar with her work as, the mother, or like a motherly role within a character. Next, I have Aja Naomi King. I haven't seen her in any motherly roles, but she did a really good job on How to Get Away with Murder, and so she definitely shows like the fierce, tough, but yet like still vulnerable type of person within that show. So I definitely think that would be a good adaptation for Genevieve as well. Next, we have Ren Stone. Ren Stone is going to be the daughter of Rick Stone and Genevieve Stone, and her age is going to be between 12 to 13 years of age, African American, height 5'2" to 5'4". And so right here, I have these two lovely ladies. The very top right here is going to be Leah Jeffries. She recently was in the live action version of Percy Jackson. So in the show, Leah Jeffries portrays Annabeth, who's a strong, fierce woman. And so I really wanted Ren Stone to have that type of characteristic, and especially because I've seen her in the Percy Jackson TV show on Disney Plus. I definitely believe that she has the abilities and the skills to portray that type of strong-willed, smart, strategic type of girl. And right here, I do have Madison Curry. So Madison Curry, she was in the movie called Us, directed by Jordan Peele, and she plays the younger version of the mother at the beginning of the movie. She did phenomenal, from her being curious and wondering. I definitely saw that, and from that moment to where she got scared, just like to see that expression on her face at such a very young age. It definitely showed a very skillful actress, and I believe that she would also be a good person to play Ren Stone as well. Next, I have Rick Stone Jr. Rick Stone Jr., also known as RJ in the show. He is the youngest child and the only son of Genevieve and Rick Stone, and he's going to be the age between 6 to 8. Also African American. Height would be 4'8" to 4'11". And right here, I do have Samir Royal. Samir Royal was on Abbott Elementary. He did phenomenal. I loved his. I mean, it was only like just a little little shot within that show, but like just as a bubbly, energetic kid, I think that was a really good scene to where I can get like enough to be like, okay, that would be like a good 6 to 8 year old type of moment right there. Up here would be Camden Brooks. Camden Brooks was also on Abbott Elementary, and again, same thing, energetic, loving, curious, just like a typical 6 to 8 year old boy. And so I think either one of these young men will be a brilliant adaptation to Rick Stone Jr., and I think that'll be a really good candidates. Next, I have two of these women, and right here is Octavia Spencer. Octavia Spencer, oh my goodness, she is phenomenal. I always wanted to work with Octavia Spencer, so definitely her being in my show Wired would be just amazing. She would play the mother of Rick Stone, age 40 to 47. She is only in like the early years of the show, so like when Rick Stone was like 16, that's described in my script. She would be like between this age, and her height would be 5'2" to 5'4". I did see her in The Help, along with numerous of other shows as well and movies, and she's just a brilliant actress that I would love to work with, and she's just amazing. Right here, I have Marcy. Marcy is going to be the social worker in the show, and I want Gina Rodriguez to play her so bad. If you ever seen her in Jane the Virgin, it is amazing. It's a telenovela, and in this, she goes from happiness, ecstasy, and then like 2 seconds later, she's crying. And definitely seeing that range in someone is just amazing, and I just love her work. She's also been in way more than just Jane the Virgin, but definitely if you ever want to see the different types of emotions and her life choices, I would definitely watch Jane the Virgin, because she shows everything and gives everything in that show. Alrighty, next I have Cotton, and I want him to be played by Lakeith Stansfield. Lakeith Stansfield, I first saw him in the movie Get Out, and I truly believe that he would be a good character. He's also in the show called Atlanta, and in Atlanta he's like an informant, and like he's like the person who pretends like he doesn't know anything, but he knows how the system works. And it's just and in my show I want Cotton to be like an informant. So I definitely, seeing him in Atlanta gave me like the idea of be like, okay, yeah, I believe that he'll be a good person to play like an informant, or a person who doesn't really know much but secretly does. The reason why his name is Cotton, which is unusual to name a black person historically speaking, but the reason is cotton, like the material itself, is an woven material, and Cotton, the person, my character, is known to be the messenger and is intertwined with in the streets of Harlem, and so nothing in the city happens without Cotton knowing. And so, and also just the juxtaposition of him being named Cotton, I just wanted to play with that as well. So I just related the significance of the word with his name because of the juxtaposition, and eventually, if I were to explore his character more, I would eventually explain that this isn't his real name. It's a nickname that he got as a child from from his peers. So like more like a bullying complex on how he got the name Cotton. But yeah, so that's why I got that as well. Next, my second pitch. I wanted to have this cast a minority-based cast. I believe it's important to have representation within the television industry, and having viewers see themselves within the character, within the characters, and just see themselves that they can do something like that. Not specifically within the show, but like acting as like a job and stuff like that. And seeing that representation is important, especially in the minority community. And it's just amazing for me to be able to, as a black woman, see myself and see like my, I guess, minorities in a show. So I believe that's very important when it comes to representation in the TV industry. The reason I named the show Wired is because I wanted to eventually get to the conclusion that Rick Stone is mentally wired with the obsession of killing. And also, I just believe that when you are a serial killer, it either comes from like childhood trauma, or just like having that mental, like your mentality wired that way, or that you're born that way mentally for not having that hippocampus that allows you to have feelings. So that's why serial killers who are like, mentally that way, they don't have the hippocampus that has them feel remorse, and so killing is not really a big deal to them. So eventually I didn't want to like come out to say like throughout as the series progresses why the show is called Wired, and like Rick Stone gets a better understanding on who he is, and he does find that out as the series develops. So that is my show called Wired. I hope everybody has enjoyed it. I definitely have enjoyed it. Enjoyed writing it, creating it, finding characters to be in it, or actresses and actors to be in it, and I believe it's very important and it's very fun as well to be creating this show, and I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. So thank you. Bye.